let alone always some surprised you're here. Start the day tomorrow. And
opening day yesterday with our faculty and staff. It's really all this stuff. It's been busy all day, but this one's time. Not always fair. Tomorrow morning we start the day about 9 o'clock.
sounds like kids though is pretty short staff, huh? Is there a lot more transition than normal, like between retirees and new people coming in? Is it?
Pretty much same number of retirees and more mobility. Retired to 75 positions. So some of those we added additional people. Instructional teachers for teaching. Instructional interventions. That's what the kids like we had. Amazing something, but sometimes pandemic, anything we do. Yeah, there's a, just want to tell us, see what we do, physical actions. We need this students, so we feel.
So my oldest son will be split this year. So, well, he's last year rocking, and he'll be 16. So, yeah, we were kind of excited to agree.
Kids love playing on.
Oh,
Actually, Notre Dame practice all the time.
oh, did it really?
That's kind of cool.
So yeah, they'll be split this year. One school is covering.
Not everyone, but a lot of people are here already.
Just,
Kids love it.
yeah.
They're all set.
I just found that out yesterday. I mean, usually, they've always done summer preschool.
I have a
Hi.
I signed up, but it's still, I mean, it'd be okay. Yeah, he'd be okay going home, but I mean, my oldest is still in middle school, he won't go for an hour and a half, 2 hours after. He gets home, and my wife gets home.
good service.
Oh, yeah. Now, are they allowed to do, is it not? Do they still do the, childhood, program for seniors, the class for the daycare?
It's on the shop.
Yes, yeah, they still do that now.
Just teach us how to so. Good job. Doesn't look like us.
Yeah.
Morning, Tom.
I had an open house yesterday, so I met with that. I didn't get a chance to go. And food trucks and all that. Like, that's gonna be a, how you doing?
Good to see you.
Done? So that's gonna be a zoo, that's a good. That's gonna be a madhouse, with all the food stuff there. I thought it was going for like 15 minutes.
John, you play
You? Baseline.
I look that stupid? No, it was just too much. I tried to play baseball with engineering labs in the afternoon, tried to practice.
Not tell you, I wanted to make sure you knew, because I know Jen asked me a couple questions about it.
We had a football team over Notre Dame last night, practice. Or, yeah.
I had one of my boys was
Yeah,
on
we're
Ball
gonna,
State
this is
baseball
just
team.
an opportunity
He was
for
Ball State in
us to
high school.
introduce it to them. We're not asking them to make
Down in Ball
recommendations,
State.
we're not asking them to go to the board of council.
He called me up and he said, "Do you think I ought to go walk on to the football team?"
I think,
No.
I think.
I said, "You played
Okay, good.
Montgomery, you played Marion, you played 8, 9 years, no,
Right,
4, 5, 6,
that's why I
7
wanted
years
to
of
let you
football.
all know now,
Never got hurt."
because.
I said, "When it rains, when you're in your 50s, you won't feel it." So I said, "Yeah, he played track off, he did the shot and the distance." I said, "Why don't you just go up for track if you want to fool around?" He said, "Oh, yeah, I'll think about it."
I don't necessarily agree with that.
He thought about it.
Slowly. Yeah. Still got that.
Yeah.
He-
I got caught.
Ah,
Had knee surgery.
I've got one playing 7th grade this summer.
Don't keep.
Plays, in fact, he's got a scrimmage tonight. I've got to run that, so I guess I gotta go play.
Honestly, if something got.
Are you involved with that conference thing? I know. I found out this morning because we bumped all the Rocket games earlier an hour.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you're discovery, there's no games, or we just all the games. That's
I see.
No, that's my dad at. That's a, we go, well, the range goes down to, he said Rochester. So I only do like more like Ocean.
For sure.
Elkhart, like a super located.
Hey there.
I
Contact.
want to start learning about, it's not about like
He was
hearing.
excited first, he's a boy.
No, but I wanted to make sure that I explained to you
Now we got
exactly,
like,
that part about it, like that.
I can stay and watch the game afterwards or something, you know.
Let's go on. That's gonna be a
And I didn't want
Hey,
to
guys.
first
Yeah.
introduction to you.
Good, how are you?
We're asking them to vote it.
Nice to be seen, rather than you.
Yeah, and I would
Just ask you if you would talk to Joe. You would like to be here. Well, it depends upon the audience, what kind of jokes we tell.
Save, I got it titled, the meeting, the agenda, and.
How you been?
Oh, is it both line on the left-hand side?
Yeah, I
Are
think
you
we're
ready
ready
for
for
them?
That needs to
What
be,
is this?
I see stream feed, do I need to do that? I'm like, okay right now.
to be quite honest, Darren, you know, brought that to my attention, I was like, I think we probably need stronger than what we got the ordinance. So there's one ahead of requirement for the agreement,
Yep.
the rezone.
Oh, I think on
But there
there it
isn't
isn't, it's on the screen right now. The next stream is up for
But
live.
tiny stuff is
On this is that stuff.
that
This
is
is stuff.
covered in the agreement, and I would ask Chris Brown on that. Chris would be down.
Are you ready? Are you ready for the,
Oh, you know what,
you
you
know,
go to
we
the.
built 2 houses this year. Third year.
I have our.
Yeah. So, I remember back then, Andy Parker. I remember
Okay, okay, right.
had something to do with security, I think, at the school.
Okay. I'm just gonna make sure you write this down, because I,
Power,
make sure I can do our screen.
Power Homes, he has Power Crest, Power Park.
I just write that down.
And
Yeah, where is it?
Otto Gibson. Otto was a builder, he built a very contemporary.
Last year, and so, just.
Nothing bad. Mitch. Oh, you already have it.
So,
That's you.
do we need to read that? There is no public hearing.
So we actually advertised it because we weren't sure what to do. So it got advertised, the TIF resolution. But then when I gone back and looked at old agendas, they had these TIF resolutions not under public hearing.
Yeah, wait, okay, so.
Reading that stuff?
I mean, we still need to read it in reference.
No.
Public hearing.
The announcements.
The announcements up front, you know.
Oh, I mean, we're still calling the meeting to order.
Right, but
There's no public- there's no
when
public
you
hearing.
stand up, sign your name.
Right.
Is that we have an introduction of the mobility. We have some members of the public that want to ask questions. It's not a public hearing, but that's why we're doing it. Are you okay with taking questions? Yeah. So we have some introduction on the FSA. We have put some folks who are comfortable with our review.
Are we voting on that?
No, you're not today. You're gonna vote on it next month.
Okay.
Today is just a teaser.
So, what's your question?
Tim, if you have questions in the public, I'll just, if there's questions, contact staff.
Yeah, I'm coming when you bring it up.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's no discussion.
Right.
No, this is a teaser for you guys, if we wanted there to be, like, we're notifying the public now, that we're gonna report.
Right.
And here's your opportunity. Right.
Just
I'm
fine.
coming back to you next month to ask you for a recommendation.
Yeah.
You're gonna love it. Big heightened design, sustainability standards for the IEC area.
Sliced my finger
You're
open
gonna love it, Adam.
in
You'll be great.
my office to like go back in. Haley accidentally knocked it off my desk,
Here.
and it like just popped out, and I
Phil
could
Garrett
not
called
get
me.
it back in.
Phil Garrett called me about that.
About what?
Those commitments for IAC.
Okay.
So I could not. Like I don't even. I think it's back in, but I definitely like sliced my finger open, and I think what I really recommend was someone over here had just brought a new first aid kit, and I was like, perfect. Someone need a Band-Aid.
What was that in coming?
No, just say hey.
Yeah, you always just
All I saw was that going.
even if it's like so.
All right. Okay, check your pattern. All right. Very good.
Doing a good job. Really?
Me?
Yeah, for the IC.
How are you? Because they never recognize me.
So,
So I feel so bad when they're doing like that. And you tried to do that with us. No, I'm worried about Jordan. So tomorrow I'm
do you know anything about Phil calling about the IEC? So, at the end of the day, you can only do your best. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
one guy who came down from Sunday after Sunday for half an hour. We had the exact same conversation.
So,
He was invited me to come to the show.
okay.
And then something about second generation was carrying the vaccine. I was like, this is gonna end now. We just try to figure out.
All right, we're just. Now let's go back. Yes.
Not reading this.
We're still holding a meeting, but correct.
Just hire somebody to
Yeah,
remove
that's
it.
great. That we're calling the meeting on the area plan.
Right.
Basically doing this with because he should not be writing any sort of legally binding contract. I would just call him and be like, hey,
Well,
do not go to that house.
we're gonna be getting,
Do not go to that house. gotten from the King County Police that says, hey, you need to go to this guy's house, I'm gonna be like, no, he's legit insane, it's the same thing as it's not, I'm not letting him do this. And then if Jeff calls, I'm gonna say, Jeff, go to that house. Fix.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll have a trying to understand how we.
No, I mean, that's
Yeah, no, that makes sense. God,
well, and part of why we're doing this is because this will be.
I've looked at that as far as just initial. We're not voting.
yeah, it's not what we're looking at. We're just trying to make sure that we get everything. We'll give you that next week. We'll get back next week. No, I'm going to be gone next week. I'm fine next week.
Sorry. Well, Abby's giving me the evil eye.
Come on,
Let's go.
I'm Carl.
Just in general, probably not.
Recording in progress.
Welcome, everybody. The time is now 3:31, and I hereby call the August 16th, 2022 meeting of the Area Planning Commission to order. This meeting is being held in person on the fourth floor of the county's chambers of the County City Building and virtually via Zoom. Video teleconferencing links and phone information are posted on our website at sjcindiana.com. Shelley, may we have the roll call, please?
Mr. Hawley?
Here.
Mr. Moffett?
Here.
Dr. Thacker?
Here.
Ms. McCombs?
Here.
Mr. McNamara?
Here.
Mr. England? Ms. Gingeron?
Here.
Mr. Devon?
Here. Thank you, Shelley. We are a 9-member commission. Currently, we have 2 vacant positions that are looking at being filled. It looks like we do not have any items requiring public hearing for the initial portion of this. We do have a couple of resolutions not requiring a public hearing. May we have the reading for Resolution 1?
A resolution of the St. Joseph County Area Plan Commission approving a resolution of the St. Joseph County Redevelopment Commission declaring an area in St. Joseph County, Indiana as an economic development area and approving an economic development plan for said area. Solar Project Economic Area, APC number R-261-22.
All right. Abby Wiles, APC Director. This is a TIF resolution, or a resolution that is required by the Area Plan Commission that would declare an area of approximately 1,100 acres in Olive Township as an economic development area pursuant to State Code, Indiana Code 36-7-14-16. The Area Plan Commission is required to approve the resolution. The project is for a solar farm. It is supported, and solar is supported and encouraged in the zoning ordinance.
and the site is partially located within the reserve growth area of the 2002 St. Joseph County Comprehensive Plan. Staff recommends that the resolution be approved, and economic development staff are here today to speak to the project.
Good afternoon, Commission members. Christian Brown, Economic Development Specialist with the Department of Infrastructure Planning and Growth, offices on the 7th and 11th floors of this building. This EDA request is for Project Honeysuckle, which is the 150 megawatt solar farm that was approved by the County Council, Board of Commissioners, and the Redevelopment Commission in July. 150 megawatts, it is approximately $165 million project to go out there. It's going to create 150 to 200 construction jobs between 2023 and 2024. It's about a 12 to 18 month construction phase for that. The request for the EDA is this is part of the incentive that we have provided the company. So it is a single user TIF. It will not have any other users associated with the project. It will only be for Project Honeysuckle. The company is Lightsource BP, which is a 50-50 joint venture between British Petroleum in the UK and Lightsource, which is kind of their US-based solar arm. So the request today is for approval of this, kind of approval of the Redevelopment Commission's approval of this economic development plan and area. They approved it at their meeting last week. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. That is it.
So this is something we're voting on today, this part?
Correct.
Okay.
So we're voting to pass the resolution?
I believe so. Any questions by commission members?
There is no public hearing on this. This is just a resolution for the commission to review and determine by the taking of a vote.
So does this, you said it's already been voted on by the council, or no?
Yes, so a development agreement has been approved by council, the Board of Commissioners, and the Redevelopment Commission. And so in that development agreement, it basically stipulates and governs kind of how everything proceeds with the creation of the EDA and the TIF, and how the TIF proceeds are then used as an incentive to get the project to go forward.
So this has been approved by all the other.
So we're not sending it to the county council, we're voting on this.
It's come through the council already.
Yeah, this is one step of about, I don't know, 15 steps to create the EDA and the TIF. So it does find its way through the County Council, Board of Commissioners, I think back to Abby for some written comments here in a couple weeks, and then ultimately approved by the commissioners in the end, or by the county council in the end.
So as I'm looking up at the board, I see a lot of new faces in the last few years, but some faces that have been on the board for a while, right? In Indiana, when a TIF area, an economic development area, is designated or expanded, it goes to the Plan Commission for a resolution basically stating that it is in line with the comprehensive plan. So that's what we're doing here today. It's a resolution. It's not a public hearing item. It's stating that it's not in conflict with the comprehensive plan.
Okay. I move we adopt the resolution 261-22.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to adopt APC R 261-22. All those in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Resolution passes.
Thank you.
We also have a presentation that does not require public hearing.
Yes. All right, this is a teaser of sorts. Abby Wiles, the Area Plan Commission Director again. For the Indiana Enterprise Center, or Shelley, could you click on to the PowerPoint? Thanks. Area Plan Commission staff have been working alongside economic development staff and a consultant on a new zoning district for the IEC area. Back in the spring, Area Plan Commission staff solicited quotes with economic development staff for consultants to take some design guidelines that were prepared by the Antero Group as part of the IEC master plan and work with us to turn those into actual text for the zoning ordinance. So this kind of came about because several of the rezonings that went through in the IEC area later, after you reviewed them, went to county council and had commitments attached to them that limited the uses. And we had some that had some language and then others that had other language. We wanted to look at everything uniformly for the IEC area and make sure that there was consensus on what types of uses we wanted to see, what kind of architectural and site design standards we wanted to implement. So staff solicited 3 quotes. Ultimately, Kentucky's Collaborative, just on the other side of the border in Louisville, was brought under contract with the Redevelopment Commission to help us with this process. So the overlay that I'll go through at a real high level today helps staff to have the regulations necessary to ensure development is consistent with the assurances that we made during the planning process for the IEC. That this isn't going to be another that we're not going to have like a slaughterhouse or additional steel mills or very heavy industrial uses, that the uses are going to be more prescribed, that we're going to have heightened standards. And then to help with the consultant with developing the new zoning district, we established a working group. And I know a lot of folks from the working group are on. Marcy Kaufman is, I would think that's Marcy Kaufman, it just says Marcy, but Marcy Kaufman with the town council in New Carlisle. Brian Corrigan is a developer. I see Carl Baxmeyer, who is our redevelopment commission representative, and Jim here has been participating with us on the working group, helping to provide direction to the consultant as we go through the process. So, the IEC overlay district, just giving a little information on the intent, is established to promote and support the types of development envisioned for the area, which include a broad manufacturing base, commercial and industrial opportunities, agricultural uses, open space, conservation uses, while setting higher aesthetic and sustainability standards. I'm going to touch on a couple of these now. And just for clarification, as I mentioned before, we're not asking you to vote on it. We're introducing the concept of the overlay district here today, and then we're letting the public know. So this is an opportunity for, if there's questions or concerns, for them to come to staff and make those known from now until we bring it back to you in September for you to actually vote on a recommendation to the county council and the town council. Because this overlay district is proposed to be adopted into the St. Joseph County zoning ordinance and the town of New Carlisle zoning ordinance. All right, so the overlay district is proposed for the IEC core development area. Staff would designate who the area, well, not just staff, but the zoning ordinance would prescribe where it goes. You can't solicit to be brought into the IEC area. Within the existing IEC area, it would apply to change of use. Any change of use would trigger the standards and an increase in intensity of 25% or more in gross floor area or impervious surface area. As I mentioned before, there are far more restrictive uses that we're looking at. In your packets, we've included the working draft, but admittedly, we're still making revisions to these. We've gone ahead and added a list of prohibited uses. And you can see here, slaughterhouse, sewage treatment plant, all heavy industrial uses, mining, junkyards, everything that you would traditionally consider a heavy industrial use. We've made some additional things special uses that aren't necessarily special uses in the industrial district. And then we'll have a few conditional uses. We're increasing setbacks from the traditional industrial district. We will have heightened architectural requirements. Right now, we don't require mechanical screening in the industrial district. That will be required. We'll have building articulation standards where developer needs to address a facade every certain feet to add architectural standards. And then we'll have enhanced parking design standards, like only a certain percentage of parking can be located in the front versus alongside or behind the building. I'm not hitting everything today. I'm giving you a really high overview of where we're going with this as a teaser. Great.
I read the whole thing.
Thanks, Liz. And then another thing, we're introducing additional sustainability standards. The IEC will have open space requirements. I believe a minimum threshold of 20 or 25% of the site has to be open space. We'll have additional landscaping requirements. Presently, we don't require landscaping for signs. That will be required in the IEC. And we're still working on what threshold of the required landscaping we require to be native. So we're looking at what required plantings would be for foundation landscaping, for parking area landscaping, and how much we can require to be native, and whether or not we assign additional points in the sustainability index for native. And then, as I mentioned before, we'll be doing an introduction of a sustainability index. These are green site design features that a developer can elect. They'll have to meet a minimum threshold, and there will be a table of site and building features that they can elect to implement in their overall design to meet that sustainability threshold. Admittedly, we're still determining what goes in the sustainability index and how many points to assign each of the features and how many points will require for the minimum threshold, but this is the concept that we're introducing in the IEC overlay. So the next steps, we had a working group meeting last week with the consultant where we went through the draft that you have in front of you and some additional revisions that we're looking to make. We'll be bringing it to you for a recommendation to the council next month. Like I mentioned today, it's just a teaser. And then we'd be looking for first reading at the county council on the 13th of September, committee the 27th, and public hearing October 11th. And then to the town council, the town of New Carlisle, on October 4th. All right. I know I threw a lot at you, but as you're looking at the new district standards and you have questions or suggestions, feel free to reach out to myself or any one of the staff. And also, if there's questions from the public, they can reach out to me as well.
Thank you, Abby. So essentially, these are more stringent standards than if somebody were to rezone a parcel, industrial or commercial or whatever, than what's required in the current.
For sure. Yes.
Just to clarify what, for those of you.
Heightened, increased setbacks, increased landscaping, increased building design, architectural standards down the line will be heightened beyond what is currently required in our industrial district now.
When are you going to have the final draft so they can look at before our next meeting?
All right.
Sorry.
I apologize. Mitch asked me a question that I have, but not right in front of me. I believe that the consultant has their revisions based on the working group due to us the week of August 27th.
So they'll get a final draft about a week, at least a week or so before.
Well, and we'd include the final draft in the packet for
Right,
September,
okay.
so that would be 10 days prior.
So would you be the one reviewing, like, because I know, so obviously as a contractor, I've dealt with overlay districts, and usually you have to have somebody specifically to review any, if I go to pull a building permit or whatever, somebody separate is reviewing that, not just, because it's a lot more stringent regulations than just the building department. Is that you? Is that you that's going to be reviewing that, or?
So everything, well, the industrial projects, commercial projects would go through commercial plan review through the building department. They're submitted, I believe Mondays, the projects are kicked out, the plan reviews are kicked out to staff and other reviewing departments on Tuesday afternoon. Our comments are due to the building department Friday. So when we get comments kicked out, they go to all of the building trades, zoning, the health department, engineering, the appropriate fire territory. So they would be reviewed by myself or one of the planners anyways. But yes, as we're going through the process, we are having to ask ourselves, and Sean's been working with me on this too, although he's not here today, what is feasible to review in a plan review? Knowing
I just remember it was a nightmare years ago on dealing with it, because you have a building commissioner reviewing a guideline and taking it one way, and it was meant for another way, and it was just, there was a lot of headbutting and back and forth. I think they reviewed the overlay district several different times.
Hopefully that doesn't occur anymore.
Right, yeah, right, so,
Well, I mean, and I know it also is murky. It's my understanding that South Bend has an overlay district for one or more of their residential areas. Residential reviews are done by the building department.
right, and that's what I was referring to.
This would fall under a commercial plan review. For an industrial project, that would be reviewed by the planning staff. It would also be reviewed by the relevant building trades, right? Every building trade would be reviewing for their stuff, but planning would be reviewing for everything that we went through today.
So you're just presenting this to us today. We will act on it sometime in the future.
Yes, I thought that this would be a lot to digest and ask you to vote on in one meeting, which is why we're presenting it to you today,
Okay.
letting you review it, digest it, come to staff with questions, comments, suggestions, and then we'll bring it back to you to vote on a recommendation to the councils, county and town of New Carlisle next month.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
a lengthy document, okay?
Well,
and it's
that's
in
why I
your
read the
packet.
whole thing, because I thought we were going to go right into
Oh, excuse me.
Well, this is ready to go. So, but my guess is that Mr. McNamara is still catching up. I'm sure you're halfway through it already.
Probably, yeah.
But, it's just kind of an introduction.
Okay,
And,
that's fine.
it's in your packet, and a little bit of an explanation, hey, this is what's going on. So,
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
Laura. Was this overlay requested by the town of New Carlisle?
I don't know if Bill Shalio would like to come up to the podium and give a little background about the design guidelines, because they were something that was requested in, was it an MOU or MOA that was signed by the township? And
So Bill Shalio, Economic Development Director, part of IPG, offices on 7th, 11th floor. This is one of 13 commitments that was made between the town, the township, the redevelopment commission, the board of commissioners, as part of an agreement to better position understanding on the IEC. So this is one of the pieces. There's several other pieces, but this is one specifically that all parties agreed needed to happen. Redevelopment Commission is paying for this. We believe that it's an important piece, so it's something that we stand behind, and the work that's been done to this point, we fully endorse, so.
Thank you so much. I just was wondering if the residents were as excited about it as everyone else.
I think once it's shared and disseminated, I think they will be supportive of it too.
So and as Abby mentioned, if there's questions for those of you that might be here, to reach out to you, or who do they reach out to?
yes, myself or Sean, we're, like Bill said, TIF's paying for it, but planning.
Is this posted?
Yeah, it's in the
county
packet.
website for,
Yep.
but I mean, for public to view and review yet?
Yep, the clean draft we put into the packet,
Okay.
and that is under the Agenda Center webpage, under Area Plan Commission for today's date.
Okay.
So members of the public can go and look at the draft ordinance. I also have a redlined version that's kind of crazy, that we started with our industrial standards, our existing industrial standards, but we gave you a clean copy just because it would be a lot. But if anyone wants to see that, they can reach out to me as well. And then just a general note, if you look at our existing industrial standards, I don't want to say that there's nowhere to go but up, but I don't think that we have watered down any one of the standards in the overlay. If anything, not if anything, but the goal is to have elevated standards beyond what's existing in the industrial district.
Any other questions? Otherwise, is there any other comments or questions about that? Otherwise, we'll vote on that next month?
Yes, we'll bring it to you for a vote, vote on a recommendation to the councils next month.
Thank you. Executive Director's report?
All right. Apologize. All right, so Sean's not here today, but we do have Carl Brown Graham, who is our new planner with the department. Carl joins us from the town of New Carlisle. Welcome, Carl.
Welcome.
All right, comprehensive plan update. We passed the deadline to sign up for working groups yesterday. I believe we have an average of like 21 people signed up for each of the working groups. Some have more, some have less. We have 8 working groups for the comprehensive plan, and I'm looking around, I know a number of you are volunteered. Thank you, Brittany and Emily. I know for sure. One's going to volunteer on environmental stewardship and one on farmland preservation, is my understanding, right? But we have a very full list of working groups. We're going to send out a doodle poll here shortly to get the first meeting scheduled for each of the groups next week. And they will be responsible for drafting the goals and recommendations for each of the subject areas for the plan, alongside the consultant and staff.
Okay, big job.
Code enforcement update, we added a third inspector, so we now have 3 that are covering the county. I've also included a link in the packet to a real snazzy map that we've made public where you can go and look at all of the stats for the entire program, what's open, what's closed, what the status of cases is. So if you have a question about a property in your neighborhood, you can go to the map and get that update.
Abby, when you thought about this development of a code enforcement, was the goal to hire 3 people at that time?
We started off with 2, and based on support and desire to expand the program, we added a third inspector. I was looking to potentially add a third inspector as part of the 2023 budget, but we did that now in 2022 while we're still really in the heat of the enforcement season, and I have not put an additional request for another inspector in for 2023, just the 3.
Are you pleased with the progress?
Oh, for sure. And we just got towing contractors underway last week, so we're actually starting to tow abandoned vehicles.
Good, great, thanks.
Yep.
Thank you.
And then I did get one question about the rezoning on Cleveland Road that was filed by St. Joe Farm. That was withdrawn at the beginning of this month, and the petitioners stated that they may resubmit their proposal after they work out some additional details on the project. But for now, it's withdrawn, and you won't see it on the agenda.
Okay.
Very good.
Thank you. Any questions? Otherwise, we have minutes to approve.
I move we approve the minutes of July 19.
Second.
A motion and second to approve the minutes of July 19, 2022. All those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I move we adjourn.
I'll second that.
Got a motion and second to adjourn. All those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion adjourned. Thank you.
Good meeting. You did amazing.
Thank you.
We'll have a good day tomorrow.
Thanks a lot.
My favorite day of the year.
I can't Zoom every time.
We didn't actually, well, I guess we did vote on one thing. Thank you.
Yeah,
Good luck.
Recording stopped.
I see everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told her I miss seeing all of this. And
I will, yeah, I sure will, thanks.
they still haven't caught him and they know who it is.
Oh, really?
It's just horrendous.
See you, Jono. Nice to see you.
Yeah, it
How's
was
your golf game?
meeting.
Well, I tried to stay away from it.
That's like my council meetings. I'm like, 24 minutes, we're done. I just don't want to.
That's why I don't mind
scream and
running.
yell
Like, I don't want
I got my gambling pen. I just, you don't use yours, but every Sunday I just move it. I move it, move it, move it. I'm like,
keep it going unless somebody's ready.
yeah, because I'm here to make decisions and the council's here to talk. We're not here to hear about your hip surgery.
Right.
We can talk about that.
I never met you, Elizabeth.
Hi.
What? There's somebody you haven't met, Bob?
Yeah.
I thought you knew everybody.
President of Roseland. Yeah, you very nice. I have been able to make it a few times and then, because it worked.
Yeah, there's so much, we spread it all over. You'll probably see Brandy.
I don't know, that's my married name.
I know you really wanted to.
And there's so many of them. And I'm unfortunately divorced now, but I was married 22 years. Yes, I did, because I'm a politician. they know my name and to change it. They'd say,
That'll mess them
"Who?"
up. Exactly. Maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah, because, and then my son, I didn't want to take his name away either. And, he was young at the time, so that would be. Well, I met him through doing this, but I know
Unfortunately, she's friends with Uncle Larry.
him and I have been buddies forever. We always go to have a beer. We have the same birthday. Or we have dinner together every year. And then now I go hang out at his house all the time. I bake a banana bread and stuff. We just hang out and I watch him work on his cars and let him couple beers in the garage and pick out, go home. It's funny. Yes, I do. You have to. On Kendall and 933, I live above Mayor's Plumbing. It's really neat. It's an old building, and they completely redid it. It's done, everything's brand new. It's gorgeous up there. 2 bedrooms, a full laundry room. It's really nice. I like it, and I can see all over. All those windows. Yeah. The only thing I'm starting to regret is the steps. Every day you gotta be right with groceries. Yeah, 30. Yeah. 30.
I forgot.
I remember 30.
I got that golf ball that they cut when I get
This poor lady had to listen to me cry. I'm so sorry.
I forgot it.
It's just been really
I was gonna
hard.
hunt you down.
Me too. It's just been really hard.
It's been a tough year for us, that's for sure.
Yeah, who loses their mom, their aunt, their brother in 6 months? That's a lot. That's a lot to deal with.
Remember to take time for yourself.
Yeah, I did. I did. And I told my boss, I said, look, I gotta get out early on this Tuesday.
Right.
I said, I don't ask for much. And I don't. And I'm there at 5:20 every morning. I get up at 3:30. Coffee for a half hour. Then you gotta get in the shower, and then you gotta go.
Right.
But I get out reasonable usually, but not reasonable enough to make it here, because if I get out at 2:45, I'm still in Niles. And I'm in a kitchen. Oh, what'd you do?
I had knee surgery about 3 weeks ago.
How you feeling?
Actually, pretty good. Except for I had my first day of physical therapy yesterday, so
That's a killer.
that wasn't horrible, but yeah, I'm doing all right. Just
It's a lot going through that. I was in a horrendous car accident. A girl hit me texting and driving at 50 miles an hour and never hit her brake. She broke my neck, my shoulder.
I totaled my truck a month before I had this.
Scars all over.
Yeah.
Physical therapy's rough, but you know what? They will put you back together.
Right. Yeah, it's true.
Are you going to South Dakota?
Something clinic.
Southern, yeah. Well, good luck with that.
Thanks.
Just do everything they say.
Right.
You guys do such a good job.
Oh, thank you. Take care.
Except for yesterday, I ended up at Medpoint. Because I couldn't get to my doctor. My eyes swelled shut from allergies. And they turned bright red. I thought I had conjunctivitis or something. I was freaking out and I was calling my doctor. Well, we could get you in 2 or 3. I said, no, I have to get in now. They're like, oh, Medpoint or Billy Mercer. Sure enough, it's another person. I was in here, my allergies. Gave me a shot for it.
First week or so, it went around a lot. That might be a bit much for me to watch.
Eye drops for allergies, and then he gave me antibiotics. And it is so much better today. I mean, they were swollen. I was like, oh no, I'm not going to make it. Oh, no. It was like, why is this happening? But just from yesterday, I went right after work, and then I started the antibiotics like 3 times. I didn't even know they made antibiotics for your eyes. I didn't know that. Really?
I understand.
Mine was so, they just kept running and running, and they were swollen like this. I got out of the seat. I lost my brother, somebody murdered him 50. They robbed him, they stabbed him, whatever. A screwdriver on Manchester Drive. Yeah. It wasn't even a bad haircut. Then he was in Memorial for like 10, 12 days and finally loved it. It was horrid.
Yeah.
He didn't deserve that. And they know who did it, but they're trying to find him. I've heard every excuse from every South Bend detective. I don't even want to talk to them. I know you're busy. I know you want to shoot me on the west side, shoot me on the west side, shoot me on the west side. But this is my brother. That's somebody's brother. It's just been really tough. I feel like part of the I buried my mom on New Year's Eve, and then I buried my aunt a few days later, and then I buried my little brother, all within about 6 months. So I feel you when you're saying that everything went fast. Yeah, right. Yeah, I thought I wasn't gonna make it because of these allergies. But that doctor told us good stuff. Well, you get scared when my eye is like too young to lose my vision. I can't do that for too long. I got it Did you like fall down or something? I'm scared.
Another one?
So this is, it's not saying you're allowed to bring this stuff in. Well, no problem. Is this the new Ryan?
My name's Judith.
So, and then you went with the, right? So I really, Carl, I'm over here. And I was like, with, Carl and I was I would try it around, try it.
He's in the courthouse. Signed up secondary for that. Thanks, Ed. Nice to meet you.
Carl, how do you feel? I'm sorry. Oh, I didn't even.
Yeah.
We got some edits we need to do based on weeks. Like we gotta figure, Sean and I need to figure out exactly what we're gonna require for you, like safety. And then we need to flesh out that safety. Did you take any classes in need or?
I was like, I don't want to touch anything about it.
Help me out with this part.
Kylie does. Kylie wanted to be an environmental lawyer.
Okay, I'll let her.
She might be.
Just like now, I got, like, honestly, I've got books I need to work on for the comprehensive plan. I gotta get this done, and I got some other stuff. Sean. It's, we're just.
I feel so bad because I have
I know. I don't know, we'll have that book.
Yeah, like I said, sometime
I know, they didn't look like they were right. They were confused. And I was like, this is a lot.
you want to keep it moving. We're gonna call it.
Yeah, but that's why I did it today, it's not next time. So that way they can read it and they just, I am on top. Okay.
And I went and learned that way. And told them, and if you redo this, you turn it, and listen to us. We explained the, like, so you couldn't see them. They replaced all the lighting and all that, they did replace water street light. And it is so dark and there's no light. They didn't do anything. Then they don't maintain it in winter.
Well, right.
It's supposed to customers see Roseanne that people, well, this is all so over. Except for the fact that we don't own the highways. It's pretty hard to mandate something over time, because we don't all